Answer game 2.
Let's see what we get as Phoenix1 takes up on the red side now. TSM will make the blue side home for game number 2 here. And we'll see if P1 can put themselves back on the list with a win. The Shens will be banned. We've seen the Shens and the rek'sai going out a lot more. It's almost like free globals once you get that 6 on top of the teleports. And the map control has been so big coming in lately.
Totally agree. Shen is creeping up into that almost nearly must-ban category, which you would not have expected a little while ago. Karma, though, creeping up into that must-pick category if it's on the board, and that's first pick for TSM.
It's gotta feel good. I'm a rookie on your team, and I get first pick. No.
Yeah.
Karma, really. Good first pick. Braum and rek'sai, no hesitation by P1. It looks like they actually were just able to go with what's on Charlie's sheet there as he's checking them off.
Love it. The defensive capabilities of Braum, very good against a team that has Karma, who's trying to initiate in your face. Braum, good against Karma, can block a lot of those skill shots in crucial situations, but still leaves TSM a lot of room to pick what they want.
Ooh. I've seen some bans of Kindred lately, even all the way through, not played, then played. Will Svenskeren try his hand at it?
Yeah, well, more Kindred nerfs will be on the way next week for the LCS, but for now, still relatively strong. I think the good Kindreds are still capable of taking over games. Svenskeren could choose it, but a lot of times when they hover one pick for this long, they usually switch it up for a double lock-in later. Couple priority picks still available for these guys, and yeah, they go with pretty much what they had last game.
Feel good to get those champions back in their hands. And what is it for the side of P1? We saw the silver composition coming in last time. Could easily go with something like the Victor in the mid lane. That Azir has been banned by P1 as it was last time.
Yeah.
Actually on both sides as well. Knowing TSM won't, they're gonna have to do it.
It's interesting how they again pick the Irelia with the Trundle still available. And I really don't like that Gnar pick actually. So Gnar has been seeing a pretty big resurgence, especially in the European LCS.
Right.
But if I remember correctly, Irelia is one of the counter picks to Gnar. Because when you're in mini Gnar, the Irelia can basically close distance on you very easily, crush you down. And when you're in big Gnar, Irelia is elusive enough to stay away.
Yep.
So having the opportunity to pick Trundle and win that lane matchup, I almost feel like Zig is picking himself into a losing matchup just so he can have the team fight potential. Do not like, but Phoenix1 trying to mix it up.
It's always interesting when you bring a conditional kind of ultimate into the game. People haven't played around a lot. It might be the thing that throws your opponent off. It's kind of a far-fetched or a far reach for that, but they're going to see what they can get with the Gnar play. Still quite strong once he Gnars out, and Zig likes to be a fighter, so that'll fall in line. Global pressure with the Twisted Fate pick, as well as bringing out the Gragas. Just saw this against Fox, actually, from TSM, and they'll do it again.
Time to play make, and if I had to guess, teams were having a lot of success with Gragas and scrims this week, because we have seen almost every team have Gragas jungle and be willing to pull it out with no jungle bans in the game either. So like they're willing to pick it in almost any situation, it feels like. Early jungle pressure, great combo with Twisted Fate ganks as well. And it's going to be very key because Bjergsen has had to pick that Twisted Fate essentially blind.
I would love you forever if you pick Lux.
And no. Yeah.
This is what we saw. I was going to say, we saw the Zig with the Gnar last time. You get a nice Gnar ultimate, you throw the Zig on. Obviously, they're hovering it, but I was going to bring it up. They switch it back around to the LeBlanc for Pirean this time.
And it's actually kind of crazy because we're in a world here with 5 mid lane bans. So the champion pool is definitely being stretched a little bit, but then you still see Twisted Fate versus LeBlanc. It kind of lets you know how many mid laners actually exist in the world. So Pirean on LeBlanc will be in the position where he would want to snowball ahead of Bjergsen, and like any LeBlanc matchup against someone with wave clear, it really depends how the early lane goes. Because if Bjergsen can get enough to get magic resistant mana regeneration, he can shovel at LeBlanc and prevent kill pressure, but if he can't get that, Pirean could potentially take over the game.
I love seeing not a huge amount of swaps in the picks, but just another nice swap. Like Svenskeren's not on the Nidalee, completely different champion, the skill sets and the size of the pools that these players have on the LCS stage, and to be able to play it at that level as well. A very big reason why TSM is at the top of the league, because they can be pushed so far back in their champion list. Here we see a few more from P1. Are they the right ones? Are they the ones that are going to click here as we come into game 2? It's going to be very tough. Once again, we know it's an uphill battle for P1. And TSM's only going to make it harder still coming into game 2.
Yeah, looking at these team compositions as well, like one thing is even though TSM has a lot of versatility, they've gone with the blind pick Irelia and the technically blind pick Twisted Fate and the blind pick Lucian. Like they're basically, they take these champions, they say, we're going to win with this composition, and they think they're universally strong enough that they're going to be able to work against whatever Phoenix1 pulls out against them.
All right, as we head into game 2 and get on the rift, hashtag TSM win, hashtag P1 win. Vote for the team you think will be able to take the victory, or vote for the team that you want to vote for.
Yeah.
Because that's how voting works. Looks like the crowd voting with the chant. TSM right now getting a bit of love there after game 1, and they're bringing the momentum now into game 2 with the global comp. They're looking for a bit of an explosive fight team with an engaged Ashe arrow here from the side of P1 once we get to it.
Yeah, we'll see if Mash can make some plays with the Ashe arrow. He hasn't had the most success in playmaking. I think Irelia is also Irelia and Twisted Fate are actually both very good against Ashe. But this is Phoenix1. They have seen TSM, and they can sneak up on him.
Okay, so it's on to Bjergsen. They're going to turn back on to Gate. He's forced to flash. The Ignite's burning on him, so some summoners being blown on both sides. The Vision War being won by P1 at first, and they have a bit more poke there.
So even though Phoenix1 did have the element of surprise, TSM has stronger level 1s. Like the Karma level 1 is insane. The Gragas and Twisted Fate level 1s can be extremely strong. And if you look at the actual summoner trade, it's totally even. Gate used 2 and TSM used 2. So I would have actually liked to see a little bit more patience from Phoenix1 right there. Wait until the deep wards have been placed, then maybe follow in, or wait until someone places a ward and walks back to catch a single person out. Because if they go for a catch in a straight up 5v5, like they're going to reveal themselves so quickly that TSM is just going to be able to shoot back. And that's exactly what happens, so no kills are granted.
You got to consider your opponent is ready for that to happen as well. So it's not like we have the upper hand. You might, but only for that half second. It almost cost them. Still 0 kills here, but we see P1 trying to get their foot in the door very early here and see what they can do to Team Solomid. And right now it's going to be another lane swap.
Oh, Hauntzer going to get the 3 CS before he can run back. Quick, quick, quick. One more. No, he gets the experience for it. He has bad memories from the last game where he overly blade surged onto a minion and cost him his life. He takes some harass.
See, that's where I would have went for it, and then I'd be the dead guy.
Yep.
Be like, nah, it's one more. You get one more.
Yeah, I can do one more blade surge, no problem. And then blade surge pushes you a little bit too close. You get hit by the braum Q. Ashe will stun you. Then it's not fun. Surprised that Hauntzer is still sticking around, actually. Very greedy play, but he was able to pick up enough experience to hit level 2 because Gate had gone down to harass Svenskeren. So he was not zoning Hauntzer out of the brush. That gives him basically a full level over Zig because he was able to leech enough from that first wave.
Nicely done. Covering the backside as well with the team to make sure to get any of those minions that die along the way. And we'll once again have the trade swap for lanes. That's the distortion forward with the chain. The card onto Inori does not allow his pop-up to go any further. Bjergsen gets himself a save.
Yeah, Inori didn't get the flash on Burrow knockup. I think if he did, he would have been able to kill Bjergsen, but Bjergsen doesn't want to give up this wave. Massive wave crashing into his Turret Pirean style's flash. He would need Svenskeren to be there to help him. I feel like he's kind of in danger of getting dove if he sticks around that mid lane.
So completely solo gold for Hauntzer this time. That was traded between all 3 of TSM members.
Oh, you
guys are both low. I'm trying to play a game of trickery here, but they decide against it.
And this is actually take it with a real. It's either encouraging or discouraging pattern for Phoenix1. That's another one of those plays that has great theory behind it. Massive wave going to crash in, chance at a kill, but they mis-execute. And here they're actually in a little bit of trouble. Who's going to get it? Oh, no. Biofrost got it.
Just in between those super slow auto attacks.
Gate's in trouble. He still has no flash.
Inori could be baited in here to helping too much. Not much movement from Pirean. He moves on this one very slow, and he may just get there too late. First blood over to Doublelifting crew.
That play was poor theory, poor execution as well. I mean, that's straight up discouraging. But to speak to the mid lane play as well as the double TP play they made back in game 1, it's something that if executed properly would be great because the minion wave was crashing up against Bjergsen and it would have allowed LeBlanc to snowball the lane. I think if they pull it off properly, they get a kill. But now things seem to be spiraling out of control a little bit.
Ooh, Svenskeren was ready with that TP from Zig.
Yeah.
Slowed things down real quick.
Really curious how they teleported Zig into Mash's lane. They're just going to be going to extend the lane swap, and Zig's trying to catch up a little bit.
Yeah.
But TSM's already in position, and there's a huge wave they already have. They're actually going to swap back. They want to fight this dual lane, and they don't want to let him finish that turret off. I don't know if they're going to make it in time.
Hauntzer, yeah, he won't even show himself, so they won't be deterred.
Bjergsen's not level 6 yet. If Bjergsen at level 6, they could pull this off more easily. Zig, Gate, and Mash are all very low level. And it looks like the turret will actually live long enough to allow TSM to match this lane. And since Doublelift picked up first blood, he's got a ton of longswords at this point.
Biofrost is like, peace, solo shield.
Yeah.
He is saving his mantra, though, so maybe it's for when this engagement comes up. So the solo shield is actually the smart idea if they were to engage here. They get back in time. That was well played. I thought it was going down as well. They've seen it happen multiple times. They knew they had the walk.
Yeah, and really, I think they're just trying to abuse this power spike that Doublelift's going to have over Mash with a double longsword advantage. So it actually pushes Mash to then recall again, run all the way to the top lane. And since the wave has already bounced off the turret, Mash isn't going to be able to freeze that wave, and it's going to push all the way into the second tier of TSM.
That's so big.
Yeah, this is actually a really big strategic play as far as minion waves go, and TSM, I think, is one out.
Mass, like you said, has such a big wave on his side pushing those. Hauntzer's going to meet him very soon, so he doesn't have much to even clean up there. He's down at least 13 CS in that. And we saw Zig just trying to clean up, trying to suck up some resources, and he'll have his ultimate blown, so they won't be able to use that here. So TSM just kind of relieving pressure all over the map with their aggression.
And the timing of this wave means TSM's actually going to get an interior turret as well. Or maybe more. They're going really hard to zone Zig off that minion wave. Smart play by TSM. Now the question will be, can Bjergsen prevent the same thing from happening on the other side? I think he can with the threat of Twisted Fate ult. And we're getting a lot of damage on that turret.
So crazy to see how well the outer positions of TSM play, as well as Svenskeren now coming in. Definitely made some big moves, being able to play so cleanly without Bjergsen in the mid lane, doing too much until the mid game. Then he comes out, triple kills everywhere, and since everybody's winning, you can all just fall in line and start getting the kills.
Yeah, and look at this side. Hauntzer able to farm at the turret, whereas Zig was pushed off. This is a massive win for TSM. This is more the type of thing they would want to have started game 1 out with.
Yeah.
Much cleaner macro game here. And yeah, to kind of double up on your Bjergsen point, in past splits for TSM, especially, you know, before they decided to do like a total roster overhaul, Bjergsen was in this position where he kind of felt like he had to carry every game, and TSM was very much about like, we need to break out of this style where we're just totally supporting mid lane. And this is maybe one of Bjergsen's best split, honestly, because he's able to show that he can play so many different styles.
Yeah.
He's been able to play the supportive mid laners, the roaming mid laners, and the carry mid laners all together. And he has less of a burden on himself, so he's actually become much more efficient in his play. Like, he doesn't need all the resources, he doesn't need all the minions, but he's still able to make the right play the majority of the time. Because of that, it feels like, you know, his KDA is up, the number of mistakes he's making is down, and he's still making very effective plays across the map. So I think it's been a great split for Bjergsen.
Yeah. Controlling it and just giving a platform for everyone else to look very good as well. And we haven't even really seen these guys reach too deep into the champion pools. They've run these comps that aren't the double APs that people get stuck to. Wait a minute. The teleport coming in, Bjergsen onto Zig. He just wanted to help there. He didn't even really need to go down.
Yeah, so much damage. Zig's still level 5, and they stop him before he gets gnar, so he doesn't get that bonus health. Now it's just a matter of making it back to mid lane so they don't lose damage on that turret.
Svenskeren may be able to get there. They're definitely going to sideswipe P1 if they don't start heading up right now. They're going to have that speed up. No, Mantra's down for Biofrost. Single shield for Bjergsen. They're going to give the damage dealer that DPS the cover. Culling comes out, forced the blast on gate. Not wild enough from the card, so Flare not going to connect either, as Mantra just came up for Biofrost once again.
But you look at what they burned. They burned the heal on Mash, the flash on gate. Now they have a push prepped in the mid lane, plus teleport still available on Hauntzer if they get a fight.
This is all from basically playing retake on mid. They gave up the pressure and said, all right, let's take it back. P1 feels like they have an advantage, and they fall away, losing summoner spells. Team Solomid running rampant right now, and they're going to start taking away the blue buff. Cloud Drake will be next on the menu. Looks like they'll be for dessert after.
Trying to get this stealing onto blue buff.
Ooh.
Smites it away. Easy does it. Now the fear would be, can Hauntzer stay alive? This has been what didn't work out for them last game, is they weren't able to keep him safe, but that was against Trundle Elise. Gnar rek'sai isn't as strong of a ganking force, and Hauntzer isn't as starved on experience this game, so looks like he's going to be mostly fine. Bjergsen just has to make sure he's dodging those chains, because really that's the tilter in this matchup. If the chains land, LeBlanc's burst really goes up, because it's proccing the Sigil of Malice more frequently. But as long as he can sidestep with that cloak and the potions, he's going to be able to keep wave clearing.
Still Hauntzer. You can see how comfortable he feels. He's got to be sitting on quite a bit of gold. Level 7, 53 CS.
No.
That's about 1,700. That's not going to hurt. We're still waiting, though, for the side of P1. Mash still has these arrows we're waiting to see, and there's not too much TSM vision. You could hide in the fog of war and get a few of these to count.
Yeah.
And there's one.
Here it comes. Can it hit? It hit Biofrost, but there's no follow-up.
I was like, where'd it go?
Yeah, it stopped. It connected. Uh-oh. Gate has no flash anymore.
They were prepping the arrow to work, putting themselves into position, but really, they were only falling into TSM's trap, who was already on the bottom side of the river, ready to take out P1 as they rotated over. Mid-turret looking to be the next thing. Svenskeren is just going to go ahead and get right in between these two.
Oh, my goodness. Things fell apart around 25 minutes for Phoenix1 in Game 1. Things are falling apart now in Game 2. They are losing pressure all over the map.
It's just a lack of respect right there from Svenskeren.
Yeah, that was a little much.
They didn't even get the turret on it. They're just using the skills because they can. Actually feeling safe about it. They may be caught off guard by P1, but they're using quite a bit.
A little sloppy.
Pirean just used his distort to get in. There's no way to come in now. The team may be up the river without a paddle. There goes Inori. There goes Pirean. They are completely disjointed on this.
TSM basically daring Phoenix1 to try and initiate on them, but none of Phoenix1's flashes are efficient. That's the second flash on Burrow that Inori was unable to land. A lot of that was because Bjergsen and Doublelift were very quick in trying to flash away from it, but that caused Inori to come over the wall. It means two more kills. TSM, it's now a 5,000 gold lead 11 minutes in. Are you kidding? That's a huge 6,000 plus a Drake.
Yeah, plus the Drake getting clocked in. And they're not going to stop either. Hauntzer actually having a much better game, so he's ready to take the top turret. And we'll see this again.
Yeah. Bjergsen and Doublelift both had 1,700 gold in their pocket during this fight as well, so unspent gold. But look at that instant double flash, predicting Inori's flash on Burrow. They crush Pirean and Inori as they're both right there. One kill each. Let's share the love. Then they can just pull the Drake afterwards. And now they complete their items. Lichbane on Doublelift and Ghostblade already on Doublelift. We're 12 minutes in, Riv.
That's exactly where my eyes went, to the clock. Then they got bigger and bigger and bigger. That is a crazy amount of gold. Core items, first single being finished there. And we'll see. I don't think TSM's going to stop this pressure. P1 definitely going to have to use this time to at least stop the bleeding. Figure out how to stop a game that's this far behind, because that in itself is an experience to have as well. They find themselves in these situations, and we talked a little bit about what do you do at this point looking for that 7th place spot? Do you focus on the teams around you now? Because this becomes very difficult against the top tier
they're
teams.
in all kinds of trouble.
Just in range. He tries to get the boomerang to slow down Bjergsen, but they match each other in auto attack distance.
And TSM can pull off plays like that because there's no map pressure whatsoever for Phoenix1. I mean, in these situations for Phoenix1, I don't really think you can give much advice. They're already down 7,000 gold. It's more about preventing the game from hitting this point. Their team composition as well doesn't have much wave clear that is necessary to stall. Like, when they picked LeBlanc into the Twisted Fate, they needed LeBlanc to get lane priority, and they didn't get that. And then I feel like they just kind of ran out of options because the rest of TSM was able to win all the lanes. Like, this is the TSM we talked about before the series of pressuring all lanes and allowing everyone to hit on all cylinders. And that's what they're doing right now. TSM's hitting on all cylinders.
And it's reactive play now from P1. They can't set up and say, hey, TSM, you should be afraid at standing in front of a turret because we have arrow.
Nice little juke.
Pirean.
But there's so many people.
Playing a bit of Houdini.
Yeah.
He's going to be running. What does the team get off of this? Not much. You see how far TSM has pushed up the map, how much control they gain. So they even have time to walk around and kind of do the okie doke here. There's the 2 hits in. Bjergsen's going to finalize. And P1's only made it to mid lane with most of their waves.
Exactly. They can't shove out the waves quickly enough. And even if they could, like, they're still going to be fearful of someone on TSM collapsing on them.
Yeah.
Zig getting a little bit of split push going on the side waves, but just the kills will continue to pour in for TSM. Unless something really drastic happens. Like, basically Mash would have to land an Ashe arrow on an isolated target.
Yeah.
But he would have to be like so isolated because at this point, even if TSM is in a 2v3, depending on the people, they could even win it.
It's a very true possibility. Right now, living inside P1's jungle, really not giving them any room. We saw the pink wards just being cleared out, so even P1's defensive kind of security and vision there is being wiped away as soon as it gets put down. And look at TSM's wards all the way up to even the gates entering that top side of the map if they want to go for it. Looks like a little love towards bot here to keep Hauntzer safe, and he actually might find himself in trouble. Svenskeren stays.
Yeah, this would be the danger. Bjergsen on top side. Can't ult down on Twisted Fate. This is that 2v3 we talked about.
Arrows in, arrows onto Hauntzer, but everybody's backing up a little bit. Looks like they'll be able to finalize one kill. They say, give it to the back line. We'll try to get Svenskeren too. Bjergsen rather in the top lane is backing right now.
Yeah, they hand the kill off to LeBlanc, which is very nice. That's who they need to be able to get farm to threaten the Twisted Fate and the Lucian. Hauntzer definitely pushes too far. That was a 2v4, actually. And Bjergsen had just started prepping the wave, so the timing of TSM's push was off, so they couldn't punish the collapse there with any pressure. Still doesn't mean their gold lead goes much down. They're still up 7,000 gold.
Yeah. I'm going to be able to use it quite efficiently as well. Just noticing Bjergsen actually has Ignite on this play. A little more aggressive.
Yeah, you see that sometimes out of Twisted Fates, especially if they want a little bit more pressure in lane. It cuts down their map pressure slightly, but the idea is you're Twisted Fate so you can just ult down anyways.
Yep.
Plus, it makes his assassination actually substantially stronger. So, do not disagree with it by any means.
Usually we see a lot of Ghost as well, and Ghost Flash for
So sometimes you see the Ghost on Twisted Fate. That allows his ganks to be stronger from a gap closing perspective. Twisted Fate really works well on move speed difference between himself and his opponent to see if he can make it in range to land the goal card. It's another reason Lichbane is actually a good item for him. Like, not only do you increase your burst, but it's the 7% move speed on that item. It's another reason a lot of Twisted Fates used to rush tier 2 boots. One of the reasons was for home guard enchantment, so they could constantly come back to wave and wave clear, but also is just so they could get the move speed, so they can connect their gold cards.
The Doublefrost, Biolift in the bot lane. Those two as a team. Usually this would be Doublelift by himself, right?
Yeah.
Off in his own environment.
Oh, Ashe Arrow and a teleport. Will one of them land? Oh, no!
Biofrost takes it. Doublelift. He made him dodge out, but they're going to be all right. Actually, the TP in from Bjergsen here, rather the gate in from Bjergsen, I should say, kind of stops P1 from wanting the rest of that fight. And if the game goes long enough, this will be a 37-minute ending. Herald buff. Looks like it'll be going over to Hauntzer.
So the Void for Hauntzer makes him even stronger against Gnar. Biofrost didn't have flash to avoid that arrow, but I feel like he could have juked it. He had plenty of advance notice when Doublelift was able to dash away. Either way, Doublelift kept him safe with his zoning culling. Bjergsen kept him safe with the Twisted Fate ultimate. Power continues for TSM.
All right, I like the arrow and cage, but it almost needs to be first, right? People were alerted of that. Traveled down the lane. It was already the team rushing down Doublelift and Biofrost. Bjergsen was ready. This is the kind of position they need an arrow from, right? Never mind.
Yeah.
It's not where to happen.
The sweep from Biofrost. Very key right there.
Oh, where's... I thought he was going to get bopped.
Yeah, he was trying to avoid the body slam, but I mean, they still have to run.
Bjergsen on the front line, looking like he wants to start this one. Hauntzer giving some trouble to Zig in the top as his ultimate wears off for the Gnar. Or I should say his passive. And it's going to be the Ocean. We have second dragon of the game. And a Cloud into Ocean. Now they can sustain a little bit more on the side of TSM. Keep themselves on the map, continuing this crazy pressure.
Yeah, no need to rush either. Like, they've had that 6,000 gold at 12 minutes. Now it's only 7,000 gold at 18 minutes. But, like, there's only so far you can push into the map safely this early into the game. You do need your items to actually complete a little bit before you make your big play. And I think that's actually coming fairly shortly for TSM. Now they picked up another Drake. They've completed the Abyssal Scepter onto Bjergsen. And I think they're going to continue to try and push the tempo and make plays. Oh, will he go for Inori? I think he's going to try and wait for the steal. Was that worth the ultimate, Hauntzer?
It's actually a pretty low cooldown. So I'd say worth.
It is. 20% cooldown reduction on Trinity Force now.
Yeah.
So he's got it back up in 45 seconds.
There you go.
Totally fine.
Ain't a thing.
That was worth just for the insult to Inori, being like, I care so little about my ultimate that I will use it just to deny you this 80 gold right now. Technically, it's a 160 gold swing, so if we're talking about expected value, like, that's great. That's great value add.
For 45 seconds. Take it or leave it. And he takes it. It's like, oh, Zig comes up. He actually comes up back with that frozen mallet, not helping in this fight too much. It would have been great to be in the 1v1. Bjergsen on the right side of the Raptor pit. Svenskeren flying through with the flash body slam. They're able to pick up a few more kills. And that's going to leave 3 down for P1 as it looks like the second tier mid is going to find the same result.
Yeah, and that's the turn for TSM. Everyone able to flash aggressively because they have such a massive lead. They killed 3 critical people on Phoenix1 and Inori's, just trying to stop the minion wave from taking the bottom inhibitor, so it's harder for TSM to cycle over to that one. But they're going to get this mid one, no problem.
Seems like TSM had a bit of a team talk saying we know there were mistakes. We might have been even too lenient. And now we're going to pressure down as hard as possible. Every time you see an opening, go for it. That's led them now to a 20-minute, 10-1, 10,000K lead. And they're even taking things as they exit in the eyes of their opponent, P1.
Inori gets his smite this time on the final kid of a monster, but Wildcard's still chunking them as they run through.
That's a nice tag.
Double if you're calling on a ward, got to be a little careful. Yep. Time to pick a safer recall location.
Hauntzer on a mission again by himself. He gets so much freedom, but he does it well. In games where he's not, even when he was getting taken out, he really wasn't allowing too much to happen in his lane. This time, absolutely controlling that. And looks like he's going to gather here with the team as they dance with Baron.
Absolutely. Twisted Fate ultimate will be up again, though.
Ashe?
Yeah,
Svenskeren could go down here. That's going to be 1. Now they're looking for possibly Biofrost or Doublelift. Doublelift's left to do damage on the left, and Biofrost flashes out. He goes down now. P1 resetting to see where the fight is because TSM look like they still want to pick some off. Bjergsen's card wears off. They're going to be chasing in. Zig gives himself up as a meat shield, but he's not even that tanky with the frozen mallet. And now it's the chase. Wild cards. They're able to actually pick it up on the gate now. The chase is there. Hauntzer could dash forward. The hit on the Pirean, but he goes, no, he stays up. It's going to be Hauntzer that goes down as they trade another 1-for-1 retribution kill. Now at 3 for 2. Svenskeren comes back up, but he's got a long waddle back to the base on the side of P1. And it looks like TSM's going to give up for now with super minions entering the base.
Yeah, still a very nice pick there by Phoenix1 to delay the game. They kill Svenskeren, they switch off to Biofrost, and it makes it so Bjergsen doesn't have a safe teleport location to get into the fight with.
Yeah.
Now Pirean going to look to, he's waiting for the gold card to expire.
Oh!
What? How did he see him? Did he guess? Magic. I want to see that through the eyes of Bjergsen. Like, what did he see on his screen? Because Pirean thought he was completely safe. Clearly not.
Can we get a check on those glasses he's wearing?
Can we double check there? Got a wall hack going on. No way in that one. Like, he just somehow knew he was there. There's got to be a logical explanation for this. Oh, man, that was impressive. Yeah, I hear we're working on it. We're going to get to see it, so I'm looking forward to that one.
Heck yeah, I want to. It was so sure, too. It's like, he even counted his gold card
his gold
out.
card was about to wear off, too. And that's exactly what Pirean was waiting for. He was like, if his gold card goes down, I can dash in and maybe get a burst down. I don't think the burst would have worked against the Abyssal Scepter.
Yeah, he's too big now. 605, 188 to 150 in CS, but that's just to boot. It's really the kills that is making Bjergsen rich right now, and this map pressure his team has really looks like it's going to make the funds go up a lot more before this one is over. 23 minutes in, they look to knock down the second tier in top lane. That's the last one left that P1 has outside their base. And just Svenskeren being a bully, walking around. It actually looks like they're going to try to spread P1 thin here and go back and forth. Cannot hop over the wall. That could be the finalizing kill. Actually ults for it to make sure Pirean can't get the save. There's the flash body slam as well to connect. Doublelift takes down Pirean. They're looking to stay in the base for the long haul here. They have enough minions to keep it going. They do not. It's going to be enough minions coming in. Oh, they do actually. A liar coming in from the bot as well. And they should be able to lock this one down just about 6 minutes faster than game 1. TSM come out firing, and P1 cannot find a way to stop it. They're going to be taking down gate on the entry, and they're looking for the Nexus now. It's going to be 24 minutes in, 16-4, as TSM gets some final touches on those fantasy points. Now they're on to the Nexus. TSM staying undefeated in the North American LCS Summer Split. Gonna take a few more seconds. One last hit, 50 gold over to Hauntzer, and that